How can y'all believe these people when it's plain as day that she never texted anybody? If you go on Facebook, I will put the link below. It will blatantly show she never had time to text anybody because he punched her, her head hit the wall, her son went outside, he was standing in the doorway the whole time watching everything, and he said, bitch, you want to play with my mama. My son would have did the same thing. If this was a white family, we would not be talking about this. But because she's a strong black woman and her son did what he had to do, oh well, now she's the issue because the black man died and they can't charge him. They want anybody. They are about blood. They want to see blood. These people are evil. We need to separate. I don't understand what my black people need to learn. How long are y'all gonna march? How long are y'all gonna scream? How long are y'all gonna stand there and be victims instead of taking our power back? We create America. They don't like.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about a pretty crazy story that I wanted to talk about yesterday, but I guess it's a good thing I didn't talk about it yesterday. Only reason I didn't talk about it yesterday is because, unfortunately, my flight got delayed like 5 or 6, 7 hours. So I couldn't get back home in time enough to keep making videos, right? It really sucked, okay? Screw American Airlines. But anyways, we got to talk about a story that has gone viral because, quite honestly, when I first saw the story, when I first heard about the story, I really didn't know how to make sense of it. But I think that the more details that come out, I am starting to make more sense out of it, and I want to talk about it, as it involves a mother who was getting punched in the face in a restaurant by a man who was also there at the restaurant trying to order food as well too. I'm guessing that's who he was trying to do. They got into an argument. Now, during this argument, the mother allegedly texted the son and told the son to come in or to come to the door, and the son was standing in the door. After the man started beating the mother, okay, beating her in the face, there's video of it, right? That's when the son ended up shooting the man in the back, and as the man is trying to get away, he shoots the man in the back again at his mother's orders, right? His mother also told him to smoke other individuals who I believe were at the scene as well too. Allegedly, that's what happened, right? And again, this has generated all types of controversy because people are arguing whether or not this was actually self-defense. Okay, was the mother acting in self-defense? Should she had told her son to do what he did? And at first, when I saw this story, I had one opinion of it, or I was on one side of the argument. But then my opinion changed once I saw more video that I'm going to show you guys, that I think really does kind of put this situation in a whole different light. And probably the reason why prosecutors have decided to drop charges against the mother and the 14-year-old son for killing the man at the hot dog stand. Now, again, the mother was initially charged with murder for doing this, and now the charges have been dropped. And I want to talk about it. But before I get into it, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel, you want to support my channel, you can check out my merch. For example, my signature racist mug. This is the black edition. It is a daily reminder of the 2023 definition of racist according to the left, which is anybody who disagrees with the Democrat Party. It also has my logo on the back. You can check it out at my website, gforemanbcp.com. Get 20% off using discount code TEAMBCP. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and roll this clip. And then we're going to play the video that really changed my mind about this situation. Take a look.
Disturbing case unfolds in court. A mother accused of ordering her son to commit murder in a West Pullman restaurant. The mother and son are now charged, both of them. Elizabeth Matthews joins us now with more on this developing story. Elizabeth?
Yeah, Natalie, that mom who's accused of giving those shoot-to-kill orders is now being held on $3 million bail. Parts of that shooting were actually captured on this restaurant's surveillance video, which helped the witnesses identify the suspects to police. So this all happened Sunday night, police tell us, just after 11 o'clock, about 11:05 p.m. 35-year-old Carlishia Hood and her 14-year-old son arrived at the Maxwell Street restaurant on South Halstead at 117th. Hood went in for food. Her son waited in the car. Prosecutors say that's when she began arguing with this man, 32-year-old Jeremy Brown, who was also inside ordering food at the time. Hood began texting her son, who appeared in the doorway, hands in his pockets, A fight became physical between Hood and the victim. The victim was able to punch the woman once. That's when prosecutors say the boy pulled out a gun, fired a single shot to the victim's back, followed him outside, kept firing, striking him fatally twice in the back.
Once outside of the restaurant, while the co-defendant was still shooting at the victim, the defendant instructed her son, the co-defendant, to continue to shoot and kill the victim. Once the co-defendant finished shooting the victim, the defendant turned her focus towards witness one. She began pointing at witness one and instructing her son to shoot her.
Prosecutors say the Hood even tried to get the gun from her son, but he pushed her away. No shots were fired at that witness, who is also the victim's girlfriend. Both mother and son facing murder charges. She's also charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor. The teen boy also facing unlawful use and possession of a firearm. Both, we're told, did surrender themselves to police yesterday. We're also told that Hood, the woman charged in this, the mom charged in this, also had a FOID card herself and was licensed to conceal carry. Reporting live, Elizabeth Matthews, Fox 32, Chicago.
Several days later.
And more breaking news, the Cook County State's attorneys dropping charges against Carlishia Hood and her 14-year-old son. You remember Hood was accused of encouraging her son to shoot a man, but video that recently surfaced shows Jeremy Brown yelling and attacking Hood inside a Southside restaurant. Before the shooting, activists had argued that the actions were self-defense.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, I'm going to show you guys the video that led up into the moment in which the mother is assaulted. However, I can't show the mom actually getting hit. You guys know why. YouTube will age restrict the video if I do that. So I'm only going to show some of it, but you guys should get enough context to understand why the prosecutors, who happens, to be, the woke DA, right, their office, decided to drop the charges against his mother and her son in that June 18th shooting of Jeremy Brown. Take a look.
Get your food! Who? Get in the car? Who? Nay. Get your food! Get your food! If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my grandma, say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
Yeah, and then he proceeds to hit the woman, okay, multiple times in the face. Now, I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. I think most people, if they see that video, they would definitely say 100% that this was self-defense, okay? I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I think it was self-defense. And again, the reason why is because, one, I believe in the differences in gender, right? I believe in biology. I know that a man attacking another man is different than a man attacking a woman, okay? This man could have killed his woman with the way that he was assaulting and attacking her, okay? I mean, she's lucky that she wasn't injured more than she was, right? So her son being there and ultimately, killing this man, in my opinion, again, you could argue with self-defense. Now, there's probably a gray area if the story is true that the man was shot in the back and then he ran out the door or whatever and he got shot in the back again because the mother told her son to kill the guy. I think that's what becomes a gray area. Okay. However, my gut feeling is that that's probably not exactly what happened. Okay. Considering that the news media initially kind of got this story wrong. Okay. They said that the man punched the mother one time. Okay, they didn't really focus on the assault, which was probably the most serious part about this, which in my opinion, I mean, that guy was engaged in felonious assault, okay? I mean, she had a right to defend herself at that point, and considering how he's a man and she's a woman, yeah, I mean, I can see how she would believe in that situation that her life could have been in danger, okay? And had her son not been there to defend her, then again, she probably would have been hurt a lot worse than she was. Again, this is a very difficult take, okay? It's very difficult for me to come to this conclusion because part of me definitely sees kind of, what's going on here, okay? You got some individuals in the hood, okay? A mother who probably is a single baby mama, okay? She's the typical hood mother. I don't know that for sure, but that's just what it seems like. But, hey, she's a law-abiding citizen. She allegedly has a concealed carry permit. And, you know, she's allowing her son to carry a weapon, which, in my opinion, I think is controversial. It's not something I necessarily like to see, okay, considering how he's so young, but considering that this is Chicago, okay, this is the hood of the hood. I mean, there were rats on the floor in the restaurant that they were ordering food from, little rats running around on the floor. Maybe she feels the need for her son to be armed so that he can defend himself. I don't know, right? I don't know. But in this story, I don't really want to speculate too much on that. I don't want to focus on that too much because at the end of the day, the person that got smoked, the man that got taken out by her son, ultimately was a menace to society. If he would put his hands on a woman because they're in an argument, if he would beat her like that, then he probably shouldn't be walking around on the streets. Okay, he probably had a long criminal record. He probably was an agent of chaos, a net negative on society. And at the end of the day, the hood may be better off with that individual not on the streets anymore, right? I'm just saying, if that's the type of person that he is, that he would beat a woman like that. So, look, I don't know, man. I think that this one is, you know, not black and white. It's definitely in the gray area. I understand both sides of the argument, right? And I will understand either way this goes, okay, in regards to the court system. However, the prosecutors are saying that, look, we've seen enough evidence to just drop charges altogether. So without further ado, let's read about this because, again, this is pretty fascinating. Citing emerging evidence, prosecutors have dropped murder charges against a woman and her 14-year-old son less than a week after the woman was accused of ordering her son to kill a man who had punched her at a Southside hot dog stand. Carlishia Hood, 35, appeared in court Thursday on charges of first-degree murder and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Judge Barbara Dawkins ordered Hood held on $3 million bail. $3 million, right? $3 million bail. Do they give this type of bail and this harsh charges to actual other criminals? Right? Again, this seems like they threw the book at this mother. Hood's next court date had been set for next month, but prosecutors scheduled a hearing Monday when they announced they were dropping all charges. They later announced that murder charges against the team have also been dismissed. Yeah, so that tells me that the story didn't exactly go the way that the mainstream media is reporting it. Again, that's what's difficult about reporting on these stories, okay? Even local news, they get stuff wrong. A lot of stuff is hearsay, he said, she said. The fact they're dropping charges kind of tells me that that story probably didn't go the way that the news media made it out to be. In light of emerging evidence today, the Cook County State Attorney's Office has moved to dismiss the charges against Carlishia Hood and her 14-year-old son, the office said in a statement. Quote, based upon the facts, evidence, and the law, we are unable to meet our burden of proof in the prosecution of these cases, it added. The office did not specify what new evidence led to its decision, but it comes after video surfaced over the weekend that appears to show Jeremy Brown, the man who was killed, punching Hood immediately before he was shot June 18th. The video, widely distributed on social media, was apparently shot by a bystander and does not show the shooting. The incident also was captured by high-definition surveillance cameras, officials said. In presenting their case last week, prosecutors said that Brown, 32, punched Hood in the head at a Maxwell Street Express. After the two got into an argument while waiting in line for food, Hood texted her son and had him come into the restaurant as the argument turned physical. Prosecutor said the boy took out a gun and shot Brown in his back. Brown ran from the store as Hood's son allegedly continued to fire at him. The teen and his mother followed Brown into the parking lot where she told her son to keep shooting Brown and to kill him, prosecutors said. Hood also was accused of telling her son to then shoot Brown's girlfriend and of trying to take the gun from her son afterwards. The two left the scene and went home. Prosecutors said Hood had a valid firearms owner's identification card and a concealed carry permit. She had no previous criminal record. Yeah, so, yeah, again, I definitely think this one's kind of a toss-up, but I tend to lean on the side that this mother definitely should not be charged with murder for this. I think that this was self-defense. I don't like the fact that she used her son to kill somebody, right? I mean, her son's basically a killer at this point, even if it was self-defense. But I mean, you know, hey, I mean, this is the reality of life when you live in the hood, right? When you are a single mother and you got criminals and hoodlums walking around everywhere, yeah, you might feel the need to arm your son, okay, and to make sure that he can protect himself as well as you if something like that happens, which it did, right? And he did what he had to do as her son. Now, again, you do have these situations where these baby mamas are using their sons as their men, right? They basically replaced their baby daddy with their actual baby, their son. And it's kind of sad, but, you know, I don't really want to speculate too much about that in this video. I just think that given that video and given how much this man was beating her at the time, telling her that he's going to knock her out, which, I mean, he could have potentially killed her with his hands because he's a man. I mean, how can I say that she's in the wrong, right? It's hard for me to say she's in the wrong outside of having her son do it. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.